Hello. I'm making this because I want to talk about China during the Jurassic and Cretaceous, and specifically about some of the dinosaurs living there. I'm not an expert, just really interested in dinosaurs and curious. I might be wrong about some things, but if I am, I'd really love corrections. Again, I'm curious, and I just want to know more about this. Tiangosaurus. It is a stegosauridae whose name means two-river lizard. It had signature backplates and a thagomizer. For anybody who doesn't know, a thagomizer is the spikes on a stegosaurid's tail. It had smaller and thinner backplates than most other stegosaurids, and it had small teeth for snipping ferns. Mamenchisaurus. It is a euhilopodidae, and its name means Mamenchi lizard. It is a very large sauropod with maybe the largest neck of any animal at 15 meters. The guanlong. It is a Proceratosauridae that is estimated at 3 to 3.5 meters long and 1 to 1.2 meters tall. It is built for speed, most likely eating lizards or small mammals, and it's believed to have lived in a warm and humid forest environment. It had a head crest for display and mating, not fighting. A lot of dinosaur head crests would have been much too weak for fighting or combat of any sort. They were likely for display, mating, or some other social purpose. Anchiornis. It is an Anchiornithoridae, and it's about comparable in size to a crow. It has some very, very well preserved fossils that tell us both its diet and color, that color being gray and black. Although one specimen that they found had a red head crest and another didn't, leading to a debate as to why this might be. It could be because of a lack of color preservation, could be because of species variation, or it could be because of sexual dimorphism. That being like how male lions have manes and female lions don't. But in the fossilized waste, we found fish and lizard scales, which means that's most likely what it ate. And it had wing feathers on its arms and legs, but it likely couldn't fly, instead gliding between trees. Next is the Yangchuanosaurus. It is a Metrocanthosauridae, and maybe the largest theropod in Jurassic China. It would have had a light and hollow head that would have helped its sense of smell, breathing ability, and likely hunting efficiency. And it probably would have hunted stegosaurids like Tiangosaurus, or sauropods like Mamenchisaurus. It could have even hunted in packs, likely if so to take down larger animals like sauropods. Next up, I'm talking about the Syntasaurus. It was a hadrosaur, and specifically a Lambeosaurinae hadrosaur. Lambeosaurinae were usually characterized by their head crests, which again serve no combat purposes, likely being used for more social purposes. They were likely around 8 to 9 meters long and had a large tail that would have been useful for swimming. Definitely not an aquatic animal, though. Nunchiungosaurus. It was a Therizinosauridae, closely related to the Therizinosaurus, and it was estimated to be around 4.5 to 5 meters long. It likely had large claws, similar to its relative, however it's only known off the vertebrae and the pelvis, so it's an assumption. However, based off the fact that it is related to Therizinosaurus, it can be assumed. The Sinoceratops was a ceratopsian, specifically a Centrosaurinae, many of which are characterized by having one horn and a frill. Unlike Triceratops, which was a Chasmosaurinae, and a lot of those were characterized by having 3 horns, 2 brow horns and 1 nose horn. It likely lived in herds like other ceratopsians and ate tough plants. It's known off 3 fossils, which are mostly pieces of the skull. The Protoceratops is also a ceratopsian, but it's a Protoceratopsidae. Its name means first horned face, because it was an early ceratopsian. Protoceratops had no horns, however it did have a frill. It would likely have lived in a desert environment like the Gobi Desert, and is known off several well-preserved fossils. The fighting dinosaur fossil is a really interesting fossil that was found in the 1970s. The fossil is of a Protoceratops and Velociraptor fighting. It was found in the Gobi Desert, and it was clear that both parties sustained wounds. The Protoceratops had sustained a neck wound, and the Velociraptor had a broken arm. They were likely both buried mid-fight and fossilized. This is not a Velociraptor. Velociraptor has had its mainstream image stained by the Jurassic Park franchise. Not only is the design horribly inaccurate, but also a lot of other movies now take this Jurassic Park design and continue to use it, which only spreads it further. The Jurassic Park Velociraptors were originally meant to resemble Deinonychus. However, they more closely resemble a Utah raptor in size. As far as the design goes, they were too big, had no feathers, and their wrists were bent down. Dinosaurs would have held their wrists inwards towards each other instead of downwards. The real Velociraptor was a Dromaeosauridae, standing at about 1.6 feet tall and 6 feet long. The name means something along the lines of swift thief, although I've seen several translations. It lived in the Gobi Desert alongside Protoceratops, and it had fossil proof of quill knobs. It likely would have eaten eggs or small animals, and there's no actual evidence of being a pack hunter, despite it commonly being portrayed as one. So, some of its relatives, such as I'm pretty sure Deinonychus, did show some potential evidence of being a pack hunter. However, there's no actual evidence, and it's likely that it wasn't a pack hunter as far as Velociraptor goes. It was very lightweight and fast, and is known off several mostly complete skeletons. Sinosauropteryx was a Compsognaathidae, its name meaning Chinese reptilian wing. It was around 3 feet long, and well-preserved fossils of it captured a color and stomach content. It was countershaded, colored orange on top with a white striped tail and white belly. It ate insects, lizards, and other small animals. The Eutyrannus was a Proceratosauridae, which was around 20 to 30 feet long. It's the largest dinosaur with fossil evidence of feathers. A lot of other dinosaurs, such as, T-Rex or others, are speculated to have maybe some light featherage, or some are speculated to be covered in feathers, but Eutyrannus is the largest dinosaur we know of that has confirmed fossil evidence of feathers. It likely lived in cooler forested areas, and it might have even been a pack hunter to take down larger prey. Kianzausaurus is a Tyrannosauridae, whose name means Kianzau lizard. It was 20 to 25 feet long most likely, and it was much more built for speed than other Tyrannosaurids. A lot of the times when people think of Tyrannosaurids, they think of things like T-Rex or Tarbosaurus, which were much larger and bulkier, but Kianzausaurus was a lot slimmer, more lightweight, and much more built to move fast. It likely ate lizards or ornithomimids, and it's known off of one nearly complete skeleton. Tarbosaurus is a Tyrannosauridae, name meaning alarming lizard. It was likely 30 to 35 feet long and potentially up to 15 feet tall. Probably ate large herbivores, and its head was made for strong and powerful bites, very much unlike the previously mentioned Kianzausaurus. Its arms were proportionally smaller than most Tyrannosaurids, and over 30 fossil specimens have been found. Finally is the Shantungosaurus, and I think this is really interesting because I just found out about it while researching, but it was a Hadrosauridae that was potentially the largest non-sauropod dinosaur. A lot of the times when people think of the largest non-sauropod dinosaur, they usually think of Tyrannosaurus rex or something very similar to it. But the Shantungosaurus was likely larger than all of those. That's all I had today, but thank you if you did finish watching, and please feel free to leave corrections in the comments. I could use them.